Hello Year 6 and welcome to Tuesday's maths lesson. I've been so impressed with your subtraction work that you've been sending in that I've decided we're not going to do subtraction today like I said. We're going to move on to multiplication. You did really well with column method, you've remembered how to borrow, you've been really accurate with your answers, so I've decided that we're definitely ready to move on. So today we're going to move on to multiplication methods. Now, a little bit different today. I want you to do something first before you get started. I want you to pause the video and I want you to have a think about a couple of the times tables that you might have forgotten. So for me, it might be the 8s. I'm not very good at the 8s at all. Okay, so I want you to pause the video and I want you to choose 2 times tables. So I would choose the 8s and the 7s. I know some of you know that I ask you for those ones when we're doing them in lessons. And I want you to give them a practice. Okay, so I'm going to give you a way to do it. So I want you to think about a different voice to do it in. So for the 8s, if I chose the 8s, I might choose to do it in my loudest voice. Some of the people that you live with might not want you to do that. So I would, in my loudest voice, say 1 times 8 is 8, 2 times 8 is 16, and I'd go all the way through. Okay, and then I'll choose my other times table, my 7s, and I might choose a robot voice. So 1 times 8 is 8. Okay, so that was my 8s again. So choose a couple of different voices to have a go at your times tables in, just to get your brain going and remind you of your times tables, because they're going to be really important today. Some of them you're really confident with, some of them, like me, you're not so confident with, like my 8s and my 7s are the ones I'm not confident with. So I want you to pause the video and have a practice. To make it a bit of fun, do it in a different voice and get somebody involved with you. Okay, so pause now and have a little practice. Okay, so hopefully now your brains are nice and warmed up, ready for multiplication. Okay, so today we are going to be looking at page 11. I will show you. So page 11, so still in the Year 6 Maths Workout book. So it's the Year 6 Maths Workout book and it's page 11 here. We're only going to be looking at section 1, section 2 and section 3. So they are the sections that we're focusing on. So section 1, I'm going to give you some tips of how to have a look at those questions. And we have done something like this before. So I've got a couple of examples to go through to help you. So here I've got 50 times 60. Now that might feel like, oh, I don't know my 50 times table and I don't know my 60 times table. So I don't know how I'm going to do that. But a top tip, okay, so first step is to cover the zeros up. Now once you've covered the zeros up, you do know your 5 times table and your 6 times table, okay? So I know that 5 times 6 is 30, okay, so I'm going to write that down. So 5 times 6 is 30, okay, but I haven't finished because I've only done 5 times 6 and it was 50 times 6. So now I've written down 30, because 5 times 6 is 30. I've got to go back because I knocked 2 zeros off. So I need to put those back on. Okay? So that gives me 3,000. Okay? So I've knocked the zeros off, written the answer down, and then added the zeros back on. Okay? So I want you to now pause the video and have a look at this one. So I've got 12 times 40. Okay, now don't do my 40 times tables. I do know my 12s, but perhaps not all the way up to 40. Okay, so you're going to knock your zeros off. Oh, sorry, I've jumped to the next one. So knock your 0 off and use your times table. So have a little pause of the video now. In your purple book, have a little go at that one and then unpause the video. Okay, so you should have had a go at that one. Okay, so 12 times 4 then, I know, is 48. Okay, so I'm going to write that up here, 48. And then I know that I knocked 1 0 off, so I need to put that 0 back on. So it would be 480. Okay, so then the last one, I've got quite a few zeros on this one. Okay, I've got 2 zeros on 400 and I've got a 0 on 30 as well. Okay, so I want you to knock the zeros off. So that makes it 4 times 3. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, so you should have got 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, so 4 times 3 is 12. And then how many zeros did I knock off? 1, 2, 3. So that would give me 12,000. Okay, so you can have a go at section 1 now in your book, because all of these questions in section 1 are just like that one, those ones we have done together. Okay, so pause the video now and have a go at section 1. Right. Right, so now we are on to section 2. Okay, so section 2 in the book, you've got to write the product of each pair of numbers. Now, you might not have seen this word product before. Now, product just means multiplication. So it means when you multiply these two numbers together. Okay, so a product means multiplication, multiplying these two numbers together. Okay, so I've got a couple of examples to help you. Now, again, there's a little trick with these. Now, because we are doing 40 multiplied by 19, we can just cover the 0 and do 19 times 4. Okay, so that's our first step. Now, we're going to do short multiplication. Okay, so we have done short multiplication, but I'm going to go over exactly how to do it. Okay, so 9 times 4, so we're going to do 9 times 4 and 1 times 4 here. Okay, so 9 times 4 then, so 9, 18, 20, 36. So I'll put the 6 in and carry the 3. Then 1 times 4 is 4, and then I've got to remember to add my carrying on. So 1 times 4 is 4, so that's, add 3 is 7. Okay, so 9 times 4 is 36, 1 times 4 is 4, plus the 3 is 7. Okay, now I haven't quite finished here. So I've done 4 times 19, but this was 40 times 19, so I need to put my 0 back on. So it's 760, because I'm putting my 0 back on. Okay, so similar to this one, so I'm going to get you to pause in a second. So this one's 60 times 14. Okay, so the product of those two numbers, so it's 60 multiplied by 14. So I'm going to get rid of the 0, and I'm going to do 14 multiplied by 6. Okay, so I want you to pause the video now and have a go at this one. Okay, so remember that you've knocked a 0 off, so when you've done your 14 times by 6, you need to put the 0 back on. Okay, so pause now and have a go. Okay, so you should have had a go at that one now. So I'm going to do it to see if you can have a look at your answer. So 6 times 4 is 24. 1 times 6 is 6, plus your 2 is 8. But I haven't quite finished because I knocked a 0 off at the beginning, so I need to put it back on. Okay, because it needs to be 10 times bigger, because I took that 0 off. So I've got 840, because I knocked the 0 off to make it a little bit easier for myself, but then I need to make it 10 times bigger again and make 840. So a good mental method with a little bit of written. Okay, so you can pause the video now and have a go at section 2. All of those ones are just like the ones that we've done together. Okay, so pause the video and have a go at section 2. Okay, right, now for your final section. So the final section we're going to look at today is section 3. Okay, so it's here. So you've got some multiplication sentences along the top, and you've got some answers. So you've got to work these out and match them with a line to the answers. Okay, so it's really important that you work it out first. Don't just have a guess. So we're going to do it the same as short multiplication again to work out these answers. If the answer that you get isn't one of these, you know you've made a mistake somewhere. Okay, so short multiplication then with a 3-digit number. So you've got 3 digits multiplied by 1. So just like what you've got to do. So I always start with the ones here. So 8 times 3 is 24. 3 times 3 is 9, but I've got 2 to add on, so that's 11. Cross it off so I know I've added it. 2 times 3 is 6. Add 1 is 7. Okay? So that's my short multiplication. Okay, so I multiply each of these numbers by the one I'm multiplying by. Okay, and then not forgetting to add these. Okay, so this one then here is the first question that you've got to do. So I want you to pause the video and have a go at this one. And then we'll go through it together and see how you did, okay? Right, so you should have had a go at this one now. So let's go through it together. So we've got 7 times 7, so we start at the ones, is 49. We've got 5 times 7, that's 35, plus 4 is 39. Cross it off so I know I've added it. Then 6 times 7 is 42, plus 3 is 45. So somewhere along there I should have the answer 4,599. So I'm going to go back, so 4,599, oh, there it is. So I know that I've not made any mistakes. So I know the answer to 7 times 657 is 4,599. Okay, so then you'll work all of these out and they should match to one of those. Now remember at the beginning I said we're not going to do section 4. We're going to look at that another time. So I only want you to do section 1, section 2 and section 3. Okay? Really looking forward to seeing all of your work because it's been fantastic so far. Well done everybody, keep it up.